Hey guys, Professor Bruce from B1 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here. So today we're joined by one of our students here, Eric Hale, to share a little bit about his experience with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and his time here with us at B1 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So Eric Hale, thank you for coming today. Share a little bit about your background here with us.
Well, okay, so I'm 59 years old. I started jujitsu 3 years ago. So personally, got adult kids and they're off doing their own things. I have a pretty flexible schedule. As I work in the stock market and I do stuff with education and trading. We have some software and some services that we do. And I like to be physical and, coming to deciding to come to B1, God's honest truth is one of the best, probably the best 5 decisions I've ever made in my life.
Excellent, excellent. So glad to hear. Yeah, I mean, can you share with us a little bit of kind of what's that physical transformation that your body has gone through? He said it's always 59 years old. So have you still seen major changes, or do you feel like your body's more plateaued or whatnot?
Oh, absolutely. No, there's incredible changes in me physically and mentally and spiritually too. I think jujitsu touches a broad spectrum of different areas. I've lost a lot of weight, and I am probably in the best physical shape that I've ever been. I played football as a younger kid, and I was probably in good shape then. But if you put everything together with thinking about the mental aspect of it
Okay.
and the spiritual aspect of it, I feel like I'm at peak performance right now.
At 59 years old, guys. So, I was really excited to have Eric Kell here today because one of the major obstacles that I get from 30 somethings, not even, is, oh, I think I'm too old to start jujitsu. Oh, it's too hard on, I have a hip injury from my younger days. I had a knee injury. And a lot of times, I'm not a doctor, but what I can tell you is a lot of these aches and pains that we have are because we don't utilize them. There's a lot. We actually have some physical therapists, personal trainers, people that are in the health industry, and we actually have doctors here that say that a lot of their patients that they see is because lack of mobility. Sitting in the office all day, sitting in their truck, sitting in their vehicle. A lot of sedentary jobs where they're not moving a lot, or if they are moving, they're just not doing the movements that would require to make your shoulder stronger, your hip, your knees, right? Eric, can you share some insight? Did you come into jiu-jitsu? Did you have any aches and pains? And how has that transformed for better or worse throughout your years in jiu-jitsu?
Well, you talked about being a sedentary lifestyle. I think that sitting is the new smoking, and a lot of people in today's day and age, especially me who does a lot of work online, I'm sitting in a chair all day, and so for me, it's very important that I get this workout in. And my goal is to get 4 workouts in a week, and I block it in my schedule. So it's on my schedule. It's non-negotiable. That time's there. I can't schedule anything on top of it. As far as injuries go, I've done a lot of stupid things as as a younger kid, and you're right. I do have some injuries, and that was one of my big fears as an older guy coming into this, knowing the level of performance that we have, and then I'd be going up against younger and probably stronger and more intelligent people or more experienced and knowledgeable people. Um, but I think you're right. It's the being able to exercise and strengthen the areas and stretch and focus on that. And as a practitioner of jujitsu, I know where my weaknesses are, and nobody here is trying to hurt me, right? So that was a big fear that I had, that somebody would come in here and be a goon on the mat and just try to do some nasty moves, knowing that I have a weak knee and maybe they'd knee bar me or something like that. None of that. That's one of the things about B1 is you don't allow that sort of thing to go on.
Yeah.
So it really made me feel comfortable, and I can say with a partner that, hey, we got to go easy on, maybe my shoulder is sore or something like that, and we work carefully. So I've got responsibility, but my partners also take that responsibility. And I like your rule, what you do with the kids. Tell them what you do with the kids, man.
So we have a rule: if you hurt your training partner, you gotta sit out with your training partner. So we brought that into the adult class, and ever since then, no one hurts their training partner at either level. So
I don't think anybody's trying to, but it makes everybody aware.
Exactly. And that goes, a lot of sometimes injuries happen because we're fighting a position way too hard. Sometimes it's just give up the takedown, give up
Right.
the guard pass, right? Give up the mount. Give yourself a chance to fight out of it. Maybe you never know. Maybe that'll be the breakthrough that you need to make your technique better, right? And same with the other partner. If I catch my partner who's flailing too hard out of an armbar because maybe he lacks the knowledge on how to escape that particular armbar, catch a release. I let go. I move on to the next position, and I set up something else, right? If I can catch my partner in an armbar, there's a good chance I could probably catch him in something else because I have confidence in my technique. So kind of leading us into the next question. So Eric, how you train 4 days a week? They're non-negotiable. I mean, for some of us listening out there, that might be, well, that's a lot of time away from home, away from the family. How does your wife feel with you being out of the house 4 days a week and looking after your health?
Well, I'm very fortunate that I have a blessed wife who appreciates that I'm actually making my health as a priority. In fact, that is my justification. In order for me to be able to take care of my family, then I need to do what's right for me, and I have to make myself healthy so that I'm there to be able to take care of them. And jiu-jitsu adds another aspect to that because there is this whole issue about family protection and
Yeah.
being out in public. When I was a kid, I had friends who did taekwondo, and I remember we used to wrestle all the time, and they started doing taekwondo, and I said, "Well, teach me taekwondo," and they say, "Oh, you can't do that move." And what do you mean you can't do that move? Well, it's not a move in taekwondo, and the same thing with karate. And jiu-jitsu is, I mean, it's as close to street fighting as you can probably
Oh,
get.
100%.
And
Yeah.
so it gives me, confidence to be able to. I mean, it's made a big change, and I've told you some stories how that's actually happened in the real world, where I walk a little taller, I walk more confident, and I've not gotten in a fight with anybody or anything, but I have the confidence to know that if something starts, it's probably not going to go well for the other person.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we touch upon that a lot, and I always reach out to the hardworking dads because I'm like, you already have the mental part of it, right? Which is the hardworking part. Now, if we add technique to that, I mean, I think as a head of the household, you're unstoppable. Do you think with your consistency on the mat, your focus on physical and mental health, do you think that also kind of rubs off on your wife a little bit? Maybe it makes your family want to take care of themselves a little bit better?
Yeah, well, actually, it probably went the other way because my wife is committed to working out, and she has a personal trainer she works with 3 days a week, and sometimes it gets in the way of our family stuff. I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to do this tonight. She's like, no, this is a priority. So then I've made it a priority, and she definitely sees me doing that, and I set it as an example for my kids as well,
Yeah.
that they need to be committed to working out, and all of my kids do.
Yeah.
They put money into their 401ks, they save money, and
Yes.
they work out on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the best father and example I can be.
Oh, 100%. Because if you're putting, you want to put that money to use one day, you want to utilize it, right? So
Right.
you got to add some years to your life. Because what's the point of, you know, saving up, working these hard jobs, having this high salary when it's like you're putting yourself in a position where your body might not even make it past 50 because you never gave yourself a fighting chance, right? And the reason I asked that question is that's something that I think just kind of spills all around the family unit because like on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, you see if mom and dad are out of shape, usually the kids are and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it goes back to habits,
Yeah.
right? And I think for your line of work, I mean, Eric works with people, works with people's money, teaches people how to utilize, how to leverage their money and get the most out of it. Um, you know, I want to work with somebody that I know takes care of themselves because if they're taking care of themselves in that manner, they're going to take care of me, right? So that gives me more confidence, to work alongside him in a professional setting. Next question here: How has how has this impacted you mentally?
Wow, that's a huge one, because that's one of the biggest benefits that I didn't expect, was the mental clarity. Even I'd even touch on spiritual side of this thing, is that when you're on the mat and you're in a role, there's nothing else in the world that's going on other than that role. I mean, anything beyond 5 feet, I'm not really aware of what's going on, because it's like a game of chess, in terms of thinking about how you're going to respond, what your partner's going to do, what you're going to do next, and looking ahead. So I don't think people realize how engaged across the spectrum. We talk about strength, core strength, and flexibility, and all that sort of stuff, the physical aspect of it, but the mental and the spiritual aspect. For me, if I don't do jujitsu, I don't feel right. I have to come in and get a jujitsu workout, and then after that, my mind is clear and I'm good to go. So as far as efficiency, like one of the reasons I come here, this is probably the most efficient exercise. I mean, guys go to the gym and just lift weights. I mean, what are you doing? You're not really using your brain, but being able to touch all of those aspects of flexibility, core strength, physical strength, all of those areas, and mental and spiritual, all in such a dense workout. It's such a great value when you look at it from that standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, it's giving you that all around confidence. You're better at your job, better at protecting your family, better at taking care of yourself, being a better example to your wife and kids. I mean, what more can you ask for? Is there anything that you wanna leave us with today,
Yeah,
Eric?
yeah. Well, so back to the beginning. I started when I was 56, and I was thinking, hey, I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too out of shape to do this. And if anybody's thinking that, then I think you need to recheck yourself and look at the big picture, what your goals are. You asked me why I came in and way back when, and it was I listened to Joe Rogan, and Rogan's talking about he does it, and he's been doing it his whole life. But then he talked about Anthony Bourdain and Joey Diaz and Russell Brand, who started all at the same age that I was at that time, and they're all doing great. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to check it out. And I'm going to tell you, the first day that I came in here, I had a great workout. I sweat really hard. I worked out really hard. The next morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I did. I looked at myself the next morning and said, I am a different person than I was yesterday. And that's when I knew I found the right place.
Excellent, excellent. I'm happy to hear it. And what would you say to, you know, what would you say to our, motivated but less motivated individual that's listening today that's just, you know, when they talk to their buddy, yeah, Eric, I'll come to jiu-jitsu with you tomorrow, and then when that tomorrow hits, they sit back on the couch. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And you're not committing to 1,000 miles, but you have to take that first step. And I'll put a plug in for B1. I totally got lucky finding B1 because it was the closest gym to me, and I drove by the sign every day. But we see people who drive from the city of Chicago. People drive an hour to come in and practice with this gym because it's head and shoulders above every other gym in the area. So I got really lucky, and I think you offer a free class to people. There's the excuses are you're all making them up yourself. You need to pick up the phone and call Professor Bruce and just say, hey, is this right for me? Come in and check it out. And
Yep.
nothing's going to change until you make a difference. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and I talk to these young guys around here. I'm so envious of them making these decisions in their teens and their 20s and 30s. I wish I had the chance to go back and do it again. One of my biggest regrets, but make the decision today.
Yeah, but everybody's path is a little bit different, and I think what you may not have in those years that some of the younger guys have. I mean, you have an experience, right? So it's like, I think this was meant for you at this time because it's your training is going to be a lot more refined. It's going to be more to the point. You definitely take advantage of every second, every minute that you're on the mat. So we want to thank you for that, Eric. We want to thank you for being part of our family and our group here, guys. Again, if there's anything from this episode today that you were able to take something positive away from, if you have a friend or family member out there that can resonate with Eric's story, like, share, and subscribe. Share this episode with them. Have them reach out to us. We'd love to work with them. We'd like to, like I said, we'd love to offer them a free class to see if it's a good fit for them, right? We're not, the perfect program for everybody, but I think we're the perfect program for a lot of people, for most of the people. So we'd like to share that with you guys. So again, like, share, and subscribe, guys. It motivates us to make more of this great content. And until next time, thank you, Eric, and thank you for staying till the end.